back to Cross Stitch the Globe. This is a channel about cross stitch. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
And we are two sisters who, Allison's cat might make an appearance again, are at different points in our cross stitching journey. Allison is a veteran cross stitcher. I am new, but I'm also a travel writer converting cross stitch my photos into cross stitch patterns. So that's what got us excited to join Flosstube. And this is Flosstube episode 6. Which is,
I know, that's crazy.
And it's our 11th video because we do like to put out little mini episodes in between. So look for another one next week.
Apparently we have a lot to say.
And last week, actually this is sorry, I'm just dealing with this cat situation.
My cat is adorable. He's sitting right here. He'll be with us the whole time because every time Stephanie comes over, he has to be near us. So he might make an appearance later. And right now he's very interested in Stephanie's patterns.
And I'm a mom with two very small children who's a little bit touched out and likes coming over here to just not be touched for a little while. So it's real fun.
He says, too bad.
Yeah. So that's a good transition though, because our last small video was an announcement of your birthday start along / stitch along. It's going to be in January and we're calling it the Princess Birthday Sal.
Yay.
You can see the hashtag. I'll put it right here. You watch that video if you want to know like all the details or you want ideas for patterns. But just like too long, didn't watch. We're going to start, pick any princess name pattern. I have tons of ideas in that video, but like Mirabilia's, Teresa Winslow's, but I do actually have 2 more people I want to mention today. And then pick any princess name pattern and just start anytime in January and use the hashtag and tag us. And it's going to be fun. And we decided we're going to do it whether anyone joined us or not because we are very new. And a couple, like I've already heard from people that are joining and have like had projects that they've been thinking about doing, or they have small kids and like this is a great excuse to do a project that like for my son or daughter. Yeah. So I'm going to do Mirabilia's Cinderella, and then I probably am also going to start one of my own photography patterns, which is the Palace of Sintra from Portugal, which has a really crazy princess story. The last queen of Portugal spent her last night as a monarch in this castle. But before she was the queen of Portugal, she was like a princess she was a French princess. Ooh, you know, whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do is cool as long as it's like tangentially related.
There are some really good ones of Queen Elizabeth.
There are, and she was obviously a princess.
And she was a princess.
There are queens that skipped the princess thing, but there are a lot of queens who were princesses on like the Mirabilias. And like I was looking at Bella Filipina because I was like, oh, I didn't think about her. She has a lot of queens, but none of them are like that I could find specifically had like princess backstories, but you could decide for yourself.
Oh yeah.
Then also I was watching Helen D's most recent Flosstube, and obviously if you're not watching Helen D, like watch Helen D. She's amazing. But not her most recent video, which was like a tutorial, but her most recent Flosstube. She is stitching a pattern by a designer that's on Etsy called Stitchy Princess that I totally missed. And Stitchy Princess, I went and checked her out, and like a lot of her patterns are fairy tale themed, but then also any of her patterns would be a princess pattern.
Right.
So definitely. And then Ali Z from Ali Z is Crafty, who I'll talk about later for other things because we're doing a sal together. But she DM'd me and said when she was watching the video, and she didn't get to the part yet where you had talked about Brooks Books' the Cinderella dress.
Oh yeah, go to Brooks.
She was like,
Books.
So you guys mentioned the dress, but like actually there are tons of amazing, she has so many amazing like Disney princess, fairy tale princess dresses. So I did not emphasize in that video that there are so many more patterns in that one.
The Cinderella was like 1 of 12.
Yeah, and I didn't, for some reason I was like, oh, we got her covered. I didn't go look at her.
No.
The designers we missed in that video that you could also do are Bella Filipina, Stitchy Princess, or Brooks Books, and then also like anything you want. So join us for that, and the hashtag is here, tag us, and it starts in January. So you have tons of time to kit it up. And if someone said, well, I'm doing a no-buy next year, but I can totally buy this now because it's like, yes.
I mean, that works for me.
And if you're doing a no new starts next year, you can start it December 31st. Like just join us. We're going to have fun. All right. So that next section I want to get down is to thank yous and mentions. So this section is for people who either mentioned us unprompted or we mentioned them and then they actually took the time to like check our content out and like thank us on their channel and engage with us. And that is so special. So I want to say Leah's Cross Stitch Corner, I talked about her budget video.
Yeah.
And then she watched our stuff and has been commenting about our stuff, and it's and it's so nice to like.
And then I
make
went back
connections.
and watched all of her stuff.
I watched her most recent one.
Yeah,
and
I watched several of hers. I did.
Like, I just need to watch all of them.
She's really good. Like, she's funny. She's got good taste.
She is really funny, and
she's a good one to watch.
She has that like dry British humor that is so wonderful.
Great. Yeah.
So definitely, I want to thank her for engaging with us, and then I'm going to mention this, and I'm going to try not to cry, but on her last Flosstube, not the one she released this weekend, but the one before that, Stitch Therapy had shouted us out, and we hadn't recorded again, so I hadn't said thank you, because we love her and her videos mean a lot to us. But she posted a video recently that she's going to be done with Flosstubes. But then she actually, in the comments, I think so many people were like, "Oh, that makes me sad that you're leaving," and so she said she might come back sporadically. So I would still go subscribe to her channel if you like her stuff, and then sporadically she might be letting it, you know, because I really liked her. But she is someone who like really elevated the platform, and it wasn't always about like the whips and the patterns. It was really about like spending quality time with someone who made you feel good about yourself. So like, if that's the kind of thing you want in your Flosstube, go check her out. If all you want are like which sampler to buy and a whip parade, you know, it's just a difference to take on what Flosstube could be, and I'm like was really bummed about it. Well, and then I kept looking at the comments to see if anybody said anything mean, and if someone did say something mean, I like said something back because I was really like defensive about it. And but I've also been like sick, and I have operate on very little sleep, so I'm probably overly emotional about stuff. No, I am definitely overly emotional about stuff today. I've already cried multiple times a day about other issues. But anyway, so also, if you know of any Flosstubes that therapeutically make you cry, please leave them in the comments, because I love that. I love watching Running with Scissors, because like I'll be laughing, and then the next minute they'll say something so perfect and profound about like life that I'll be in tears, or they'll have a genuine like connection of friendship, and I'll just, like, that's the kind of stuff I love. I
love Stitch Therapy because she was herself, because you could tell she was passionate about CrossFit. She was passionate about mental health. And like when she said she wasn't coming back because she was getting negative comments and people were unsubscribing and she didn't feel welcome, like that hurt. That like broke my heart, because we've gotten such a great like welcome from the community that just that she would feel like she wasn't a part of that. That was really upsetting. And I just want to put this out there. I was going to say this later, but I just want to put this out there. If you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling like you don't fit in to what we're doing, like you do, comment on ours, DM us. We will be that support for you. Like we're all about it. So I mean, I watched Stitch Therapy and immediately text Stephanie like she's on to something. This is something you have to see. So like, and it's even if you're not for everyone, like
you're for someone.
You're for someone, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
So, and I'd love to support that.
There are like, I don't know how many exactly, but it feels like there's like 500 Flosstubes.
Oh yeah,
there might be more,
so
right?
Many.
So not everyone's going to be everything for everyone. There are a few channels that it seems like everybody checks in on, but they're not. And as great as they are, they're not everybody's like first watch either, right? Like Stitch Therapy is a first watch for me. Running with Scissors, if I see it, I will stop the video I'm watching, go watch it, and then go back to the video I'm watching. Right. Another one like that is in a different way. Her videos are a very different style, but if I see I Swear I Am Stitching post a video, I will instantly go watch her video and then go back, because I love checking in with her. And I want to say actually something I wanted to add. I wanted to add a section to these videos that I didn't talk to you about yet, which is just, I want to, whenever we hear somebody say, like when we're watching and somebody says like, it's my Flosstube anniversary. It's my
she had, 2 years?
Yeah, it was her 2-year Flosstube anniversary. I think we should make note of those to congratulate those, because that is an accomplishment. Like it takes a lot to do this. So I think we should like, congratulations, Sarah. 2 years is huge. Go check out, if you like Hawk Run Hollow, she's doing Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow past Halloween. And it's so cool to see her progress. Like community, I obviously haven't been a part of it for a very long time. And I've only really said like passive aggressive things when I've seen somebody said something to that person. But what I am going to pledge to do is comment on the videos that I like, and I'm not going to be a lurker, because I don't need to be a lurker because I have thick skin. So like if I open my laptop today and I filter out the 500 videos that my son watched from Leo and Katie, the Junior Rangers, Paw Patrol, if I filter those videos out and I go see all the people I watched in the last 2 weeks, I probably only commented on 25% of them, even though I've known like I want to be commenting on everybody's. I need to comment on everybody's and let them know what they mean to me, because sometimes you just need to hear it. And sometimes you think a channel is really big and they don't care. And it's okay if they don't care, but somebody else in the comments might see, oh, they mean that to that person and they mean that to me too. Like, so I'm going to be a more engaged watcher is what I'm going to take away from this. So we didn't mean to go on a 15-minute rant about this, but it is important because it's community and mental health, and I think a lot of us turn to Flosstube for those things, right? All right, finishes. Did you have any finishes this week?
I did not. Did you have any finishes?
I did.
Oh.
But it's like a very small, like little start and finish. So yesterday for OwlForest Friday, I've been pulling out pumpkin carriage, but I decided yesterday instead to start Winter Birds, which I've talked about before. Winter Birds is a series of 8 ornaments. I kind of like that they're not green. They're all of this color palette, and then there's 8 colors that go in all of them, but it's like, I think a yellow and an orange or something. Like, so they're like kind of like these. And yesterday I just decided to start this one, and then I got into it and decided to go ahead and finish him. This is Blue Jay. So each of the 8 ornaments has like a name. There's like robin, titmouse, cardinal, like they're different birds. So it's a start and finish, but it's also whip because now I need to keep
You could
going.
save them and have a bird wall like Stitch MD. She's going to
Well, I'm going to turn them into ornaments. Like, it's a Christmas ornament, but I'm not going to finish it this year because I'm not going to have a big tree. But when I do finally have a big tree and we get a house, I will hopefully just pull out a box of like stitched ornaments that can be all finished.
Yeah.
But I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida called Grimoire which is Garden Crafts, and it's so soft. Like, the dyeing process has made it so soft. And my only bone to pick with this fabric is that it's such a perfect Christmas fabric, but the cognitive dissonance I feel from stitching on something called Grimoire. So, Michelle, if you're listening ever, you should sell this exact same fabric. You should call it Grimoire for spooky season, and then you should have a separate listing where it's called like hot cocoa or cinnamon toast crunch or something Christmas and wintry, because it is a perfect Christmas fabric. In my head, I'm calling it hot cocoa because it looks like the top of a thing of cocoa, right? With the little marshmallow swirls in it. But I know that's stupid, but it's, I also have a bird needle minder for this one, and it's in a Christmas bag, and I just want it on a Christmassy fabric. So I'm calling it hot cocoa. But yeah, it's only 500 stitches, so it was pretty easy. They all look like this. I'll show a picture of the finished set. But Allison noticed that the finished picture actually has 2 repeats and doesn't have all 8 ornaments. So they must have taken the picture earlier than
before the
then they finished the other ones. But I love it. I mean, I'm going to keep going. My original goal was to get 2 to 3 of these done this year, and I did go ahead and cut the fat quarter that I got into 8 pieces so that they can all be on the same one. And then it's in this Teresa Kogut Christmas bag from Pretty Southern. And I haven't had Christmas bags out yet because this is the first week I've been doing Christmas stitching. So you guys will see.
I know it's not technically Christmas season, but in my heart, it's Christmas all year round.
I'm ready for Christmas stitching because I'm a little sick of fall stitching, because even though it's not Halloween stitching, it kind of feels the same. And I'll be happy in the future when I have projects that are done and I don't feel like I can like I have some Halloween stuff done and some autumn stuff done, and I can decide, do I want to do more autumn or do I want to do more Christmas? Like, what do I want to do? Whereas right now it's like I kind of want to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm still in the fall, but I have started Christmas.
All right, so that's the only Christmas one I've started, I think. No, I started one other Christmas one today that I'll talk about later. But my Christmas plans, I'm so excited about them, and they're kitted and ready to go. Well, one of them is fully kitted and ready to go.
Is that your?
Is it? We'll talk about it in plans,
okay.
But yeah, one's fully kitted, one's not, but like it's gonna be DMC. So, all right. So, new starts. Did you have any new starts this week?
I have 2 new starts, but one is a start and a UFO. Yeah, UFO.
So what we found was that we both had a really hard time stitching this week, and a lot of the things we stitched then got unstitched and restitched or need to be restarted.
They need to be.
The frog came to town.
Yeah, it was a difficult. I worked a lot. It was a difficult stitching week, and so I started.
It's so cool. I'm so
I
sad
started
for you.
Prairie Moon's.
Oh, we forgot to bring the board over, but that's
yeah,
okay.
we forgot the board. But I started this, and I love this.
And look how cool it looks.
And
the
it looks
colors,
amazing. This came from Barbie Goth.
Yes, yeah.
So that's where I went with that. Okay, but the problem is I cut the fabric entirely too small. For some reason, I decided to cut it based on what the pattern said, but I forgot to look. They stitched the model on 40, on 40 count, and that's 14. So it's way too small. Like that's almost 25% of the pattern. That's probably 20%.
So it needs
of the pattern.
You could maybe fit it on here. You'd have no margin.
No.
You wouldn't even have like enough margin to fix it yourself. Because if let's say you finished it like right here, I do think you can sew fabric on to short hems and do the framing on the sewn on.
And down here too.
But I don't think you have enough to even finish.
No, I don't.
The pattern.
So it will be restarted. I'm not sure when because I'm still devastated. I spent most of this free stitching time I had this week on this.
And it looks so good. I don't think you should UFO this. I think you should save this and and at some point you'll get inspiration for like, this is a purse, this is a book cover, this is a present. Like you'll get inspiration. Like there's no need to to take the stitches out. And I do agree you should redo it on a different. I mean, and you have that whole roll of black I gave you, so you have enough.
And I've already cut the piece
Correctly.
The right size, and it's much, much bigger. In fact, I made it way too big this time because of my PTSD from this, but not really. But yeah, so that was my start and my.
Well, it's beautiful.
UFO.
I really love it.
Thanks.
It looks so cool, and it's so
I love
you.
it too. So my next start is I'm doing the Santa from this Prairie School, A Prairie Year. And this one is 1986, which is also the year I was born.
Oh, that's what you're talking about, your 1986 Santa. I thought you meant like
1986 Santa.
The Santa that came out that year. I was like, because you told me I'd given you a 1986 Santa, and I thought you were talking about like
the Prairie Year this whole year was 1986.
Yeah. But that wasn't the like. There was also another Santa that came out that year.
Oh.
That I probably have in a book that you should probably also stitch. That's like bigger. That's like the 1986 Santa.
Okay.
Like I'm doing when I get to
we'll see.
I'll show. I'll look. I bet I have it. If I don't have it, because I think I have a book. I definitely have 84 and 87 because that's my and my husband's birth years. But I think the 87's in a book that's like multiple years. So I'll look at it.
Yeah. But this is as far as I've gotten.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love that little tree. I love that shade of green.
Yeah.
There's something about Prairie Schoolers. Not all of them have held up. Let's be honest. Not all of them have held up.
That's an
but for like an aesthetic that was created in the 80s and hasn't changed that significantly since then, a lot of them have held up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like.
Well, they're cute.
Yeah.
They're nostalgic.
But there's a lot of 80s patterns that.
I don't know.
Aren't.
But it's consistent. It's been consistently that.
Right. But without changing their aesthetic that much. Yeah. Whereas like even like Nora Corbett, I like Nora Corbett a lot. I can kind of tell aesthetically if what decade the pattern came out of, and I weirdly am drawn to 90s, the expensive ones. But like I don't know if I could tell you a year, like what year a Prairie Schooler came out, like by the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
But the aesthetic hasn't changed that much, and it also still looks really good. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of things from the 80s that have looked good consistently. We tend to go back to it, and then we tend to accept and reject, like.
Do you have any starts?
Yes, I do. I have. Okay, well, so that was the start and finish. I'll show you this one first just because it's my smallest start, but I did it this morning. So we talked about we're going to do the Witch's Garden Crafts Yule Sal, and we did the Witch's Cabinet Sal, which Allison finished, and I will pull out in whips because I did not. But this is on the 28 count even weave that she dyed called Dark and Stormy, which I think is also a great Christmas ornament fabric. But the name isn't like, it could be spooky, but it also could be like, you know, like up on the housetop and it was a dark and stormy night and then Santa appeared. So like the name isn't jarring.
It's not as bad for your
Yeah.
mental health.
But so there's two ways you could do this sal. So first of all, the sal is free. Anyone can go grab the pattern and it's in her Facebook group, which I'll link. Anybody I mention, like any Flosstube or Etsy or anything we mention, we always list in the descriptions, which is why our descriptions are like max characters long. But so it's like this pattern is like it's been released over 5 weeks. So the second one came out yesterday. And it's like a series of Quaker motifs that can be stitched all together in like a Quaker garden style Yule. Or you can, some of the motifs have been also model stitched as ornaments. So you can see like, if you don't want to do the whole thing and you want to do ornaments, and I was going to do the whole thing, and then you were talking about how you kind of wanted to do ornaments. And then I did that ornament yesterday and I was like, I want to do ornaments too. And so like to even force myself to not go back on it, I went ahead and cut the fat eighth that I got for the sal into 6 ornaments. So okay. I don't know if 6 things will come out that I'll want to do as 6 individual ornaments, but this is such a good ornament fabric that
you'll use it.
I'll use it on other ornaments. So this, I'll show a picture of it, is just this cardinal motif. So it's, I have almost all of the one red, but then there's another red, but like cardinal is sitting in like a pretty evergreen wreath. It's really pretty.
They're really pretty. I have not started.
Because what I like is I want to do the like little special ones like the candles and stuff, but I don't want to stitch a bunch of random Quaker motifs and large snowflakes. I might stitch some of the snowflakes as like one ornament, but I was like, I don't really want to stitch white on silver right now. Like I talked to you guys, I'm having a lot of trouble with my eyes, and until my new glasses come in, it's like, I stitch like this. And then I have to like pick up the pattern and be like, what? And memorize. And so silver on white on silver was not happening.
Yeah.
But I started this morning and I'm happy with what I've picked out so I'm going to do this. I know I'm going to do the candles as an ornament, and then we'll see what else comes out, makes it as ornaments.
Yeah. And there's only 4, right?
There's 5 weeks.
Oh, 5 weeks.
But it looks like a third of the pattern is out. So I don't know if the middle, I feel like one of the weeks has to be larger, because if you look right now, the whole top is filled in, but it's only filled in like a third. And there's only 3 more weeks of a release, I think. There might be, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's 6 weeks, but I think it's 5. And I told you guys I would tell you whenever I'm using a vintage tube. So this is a, you can see on it, it says, this is what I'm talking about, my eyesight. So it says Gibbs Manufacturing Co. So this is like a spring top one. Gibbs is the same company that made Queens and Princesses and Duchesses, but this, I like it just as much as the Princess or a Duchess. I have not stitched with the Queen, but they're a lot less expensive because they're not the ones people are looking for. So if you want to dip your toe into a vintage hoop, it's the same company, it's the same quality, but because it's this style and not, like the Duchesses don't have anything and the Princess have the little thing you push in, this style, but I feel like it holds it just as tight, just as easily, and also still gives me the like Little House on the Prairie, Felicity Merriman vibes that I am adoring about getting back into needlework.
Okay.
So that is the new start from literally today.
My Prairie School Santa year thing was today.
Oh, really? Because you did tell me, you were like, I didn't stitch on much other than this thing that I have to frog. And I was like, so when you showed me that, I was like, I didn't know about it, but it looks, I know you're working on that here.
Yeah.
Are you going to do all 12?
I don't know.
I feel like you'll end up doing it because every month you'll be like, I don't want to do any of the things I have. You'll just be like, let me do this new Prairie Schooler.
I'm not a fan of the January one because it's a timepiece. I might not do that, yeah.
All right, so my next new start is a tiny piece of what's going to be a quite large Mirabilia. So this is Fairy Flora. from Mirabilia, and I'm doing this as a stitch along with Rachel from Licking Floss, and then Sarah from Memphis Sarah E decided to join us too. And there are a couple other people who said like, oh, I might, or it's tempting or whatever. So anybody who has Fairy Flora, join us. Fairy Flora went out of print, and so a lot of people went ahead and bought it from Needlework shops before it had time to get like sold out and put on the secondary market. And so I was like, I think I might want to start it because I think some people will be starting it. Well, apparently people weren't starting it, but I said that. So then people decided like, oh, okay, let's start it. So we're starting it. We started on Wednesday, but you can start anytime. And I started it as a center start. So this is just her dress. And when I say Allison and I both had a hard time this week with stitching, I have frogged and restitched 1/3 of what I have done.
Yeah.
Because I started, like, I did a center start, but then I started in a weird place, and it got me like confused, and so I just frogged the first 2 threads that I did and started over. But then I had placed enough holes in it that I didn't have to start in the exact center. I could start at the top of that color section and work my way down, and that was better. And then also, like, I'm not used to doing things that need beads. Like this is only the second piece I've started that needs beads, and so when I got off, it wasn't just that I could fill in a different color or whatever. It was like literally it was going to affect the placement of the beads. And so I had to frog that and start over. But I'm doing this on 28 count earth by Fiber on a Whim. I totally copied this fiber choice from Rachel because I think she's great at picking fabrics.
Licking Floss.
Yeah, Licking Floss. Like she's doing a chatelaine on a really beautiful piece of fabric, and then she also did her Cathedral Woods Goddess on I think she's good
really
at
cool.
picking fabrics.
That was cool.
So I just was like, I had this in stash, and I just copied her, and I'm like cool with that.
You can hear my puppies.
Oh, they're sad. And then I have a copy of the pattern to show you guys.
You want to complain?
So this is what she looks like. She is quite large. So like, the border on the sides is going to be, I didn't cut the fabric at all because the border on the sides is going to be larger than 3 inches, but like not that much larger than 3 inches. But then the top and the bottom are going to be a little less than 3 inches. So she's big. So I don't know how long it'll take me. But I really like it. And I'm enjoying stitching pink. It's just a different color than I'm doing on everything else.
I see it.
Yeah. And then there's in one of the mirror groups on Facebook, somebody posted a photo of Joaquin Phoenix. It was like a movie still. And some movie he was in, I don't remember which one. It was on the wall as like the artwork in the house. Like I'm sure some set designer saw it on sale somewhere and just like put it as a prop in the house. But so that is, and this is my second November start. I was supposed to start Elizabeth and the Lavender Sky in between them, and she is fully kitted. But between being sick and everything, I just ended up taking about a week of doing like no hard stitching, because with how my eyes were already having problems. I finally ordered the glasses that I need. Like my prescription changed, so I need new glasses, but I have to get progressive. So instead of readers and like, I've been nearsighted. I've been nearsighted my whole life. I've had distance problems since like elementary school, but I've only got readers last year when I was pregnant, but it went from like 0.75 to like 2.5, but they're different in different eyes. And I ordered a 2.5 off of Target and they didn't work at all. So I really do need the like progressives, the real ones. Yeah. Eyes have been tired, and then having a cold and no sleep on top of that, my eyes are just like always tired. So I took a week where I did like almost no hard stitching. And so I am going to still start her because she's fully kitted, but she just didn't get started yet. And hilariously, so this is a Teresa Kogut bag by Jasmine's Custom Bags. Fairy Flora has no business being in this tiny little bag because like, oh, and I'm stitching her with a princess right now, but I need another couple of Q snaps. She needs a Q snap, and she needs this much color. So she's no business being in this bag, but until I finish something else, I don't have a big enough bag to stick her in. And so putting her in this tiny little bag is an incentive that I need to finish something that's in a bigger bag so she can move up.
So which one are you going to finish?
Well, I was supposed to finish the witch's cabinet and move her to that one, but I don't know. No, I don't know. I also ordered not Como stitches at 805. The 805 Stitcher was having a really good sale on bags, so I ordered a couple, and one of them is fairy themed, but it's a vinyl front, and I don't think it would like be a comfortable fit in a vinyl frame. She really needs like a
big one.
Like a bag I can stick a 8x8 Q-snap in and forget about. So we'll get there. And then okay, my last new start is
I love this one.
it's a start I had no business doing. I didn't. I had a lot of starts planned for November. I had a lot of whips. I did not need to start this. I didn't even like this pattern the first 20 times I saw it.
What?
Remember we even talked about like
I liked it.
We talked about the Octopus's Garden.
Oh.
But so I've been watching, I don't know if she's done with it, but Jane from Running with Scissors had been stitching it. And every time she pulled it out, I liked it a little bit more. And then the Garden Goose stitcher, Teresa, was stitching or had bought Eleanor Rigby or something. And I had this in my 1, 2, 3 stitch cart, but I hadn't bought it. And then I was like, well, let me just get the whole series. And then Eleanor Rigby was out of print again, but you can get her. But I don't really actually like that one. The pattern's fine. I don't want to think about that song because it's such a sad song.
You like to cry.
I know, but like I'll cry during Yellow Submarine. Like that's the thing is like because my son has decided that this is his favorite song and he sings it on the way to school and back, but he won't sing it to anyone else or at any other time.
Okay.
But he loves to sing it. So I was like, oh, he does not care that I'm stitching. No. He does not find it interested at all. But I'll always know, like, it's like one of our songs. But anyway, so that's my small start. I got the seaweed. I came over to here on the seaweed and I started the like Quaker medallion thing. And I'm gonna work my way down to the submarine so that I can do like some yellow submarine and then go do something else so that I'm not like stuck in the submarine for 6 months with like I'd like to get to it and then be able to bounce back around. But then, so I started this on Sunday. I only did 1 day on it, but that's how much I liked it, is that it went really fast. And it's also all gentle arts. And I'm doing it with all the call for gentle arts. This is 28 count. Ooh, I want to say this is,
you told me.
Okay, it's 28 count. No, it's not. I was totally wrong. It's 28 count Through the Stones linen by Miss Stitch Me.
Oh.
So I bought a ready to ship stash of Miss Stitch Me, and I'm loving Miss Stitch Me fabric. But anyway, so, and I only took up half of it, so I have like a whole nother. You can do a whole nother thing on it. Yeah. Maybe I'll do the Octopus's Garden. So I bought this and all the threads for this, and then I bought all the other patterns in the series except I didn't buy Eleanor Rigby because I didn't have it. And I found other places, but I don't think I want to.
Okay. Maybe it'll grow on you like the submarine.
Maybe I need to buy it then if it might grow on me because it's $8 or $9 right now. Some places where it's still for sale, but it's going to be out of print again. And if they don't reprint it, it's going to be $100.
Well, that's up to you, but I bet it grows on you.
Or I'll have all of the other 5 done in 20 years. I'll be like, I need to do it. So maybe I'll just buy it. It's and sit on it and we'll see what happens. But but then Jane and Julie posted that Jane had been in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if she finished this or not. But that she'd been in the hospital and they're gonna be back and she's talked before on her Flosstube about things being in the hospital, but I had just started watching their old ones. I went back to number 1 and like I'm up to like 5. Like I just started watching their old ones chronologically because I just love their friendship. And I love the Hardanger stuff too. I'm never going to do it. It doesn't look fun at all.
It looks too hard. Way too hard.
But I like watching and learning about it. But she posted that she was in the hospital. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to stitch this, but I'm also going to like make sure that I'm like sending good vibes to her the next few times I stitch it because, never hurts. And, they're very successful on Flosstube. It's not like they're like a hidden Flosstube gem, but like if you aren't watching them, like you're definitely go check them out. Mm-hmm. So that's my last new start, and I love it. I love it. So I decided that I really like stitching on theme days, and Sunday was already Long Dog Sampler Sunday. So what I decided is I'm also going to do Blackbird on Sunday, but I'm just not going to do anything else. So I'll do those 2, and if I have anything else going on, like Sunday is just a day to like reset and rest. And I'm not a religious person, but like taking that time to just do things I really enjoy. Plus it's like the first day of my husband's work week. So it's like I'll have little stitching time Friday or Saturday. So it's the first time I get good stitching time again during the week. So You'll see both of those. Very pretty. Just love it.
I love it too.
All right. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. Oh, and it lives in this Thread Lady 99 bag. That's not like, you guys have seen this a million times. This is the bag that like all projects kind of start in until they inherit like a better bag from something else that has like ended. And I'm using like this nice 7-inch princess hoop. This is like a great size of hoop. And then it's actually usually if I'm doing DMC, I have things on bobbins, but you can actually see the floss. And I just think it looks so good on that color. I love Stitch Me. How about your whip, sissy?
Really slow stitching week. So, I'm going to show you.
I'm so like, where can I put my iPad? 4
whips. However, all but one only got 1 day. You're not going to be able to tell that I did anything. She'll put a picture of the Center Santa. And
we told you guys the whole saga about that pattern on our last Flosstube. So if you want to know what it's like to buy a pattern that was hand charged in the 1980s,
yeah,
go check that out.
Yeah. But see, I really didn't stitch more than just, this is my game day stitch. So I stitched during the OU game and probably a little bit of the pre-game, but that's it.
The pumpkin house. The lovely pumpkin house.
Hello from Liz Matthew. And this, all I did was add the windows and the cat, and I even messed those up, so I had to frog. It was a really bad stitching week.
We had such a rough time, and for totally independent, non-related reasons. Like, yes, we're related, but we're not.
The mojo was just off in Edmond, I guess.
Yeah, so. And then so that is the piece that you're working on for the hashtag we started Liz Matthews Monday.
Yeah, and I did one Monday.
But dude, the nice thing about having a theme day is that you might not have picked it up at all.
That's true. But we had 2 weeks, and I only did it 1 day, so.
I love Liz Matthews.
Whatever. My next whip is my year-long stitch, Another Year Creeps By Ink Circles, which I really love. I think it's going to look amazing when it's done. And
I'm happy that you're working on it, but I'll be happy for you when it's done and you don't have to do 40 count linen again.
Oh, me too. Never again. So I'm on month 2. So this one was October. This one's November. You can't even, all I did was the handle of the sip.
And today was the day you would have normally worked on it too.
I would have, but I had things to do this morning, so I did not. I didn't even work on it. I did my Prairie Schooler at 5 a.m. and then I had stuff to do.
So you have 2 Saturdays left?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'll probably work on it later today. But yeah, I didn't get very far. So.
Well, the only reason you work on it Saturday mornings is because of the light, not because of.
Yeah, but at 5 a.m. there was no light.
You know what? I'm not like a seasonal affective disorder person, and I'm not a like, I don't love daylight savings time, but it doesn't really bother me like the way it bothers a lot of people. But I do think that the light has affected me more than I expected.
Your apartment is so dark. I don't know how you can ever see anything.
Well, I'm like,
this is the only one I stitched on for more than a.
But you did a lot of this.
Yeah, I did a lot because I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna finish this skirt.
It's so pretty.
I didn't finish the skirt. That was way ambitious, but I did work on it.
It's so many color changes. It doesn't look like it should be.
But it's really just like a few of one color and then block with the other color.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking that internally. No, it doesn't. It has internal like patterns.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of color changes.
You can tell on the screen more than you can in person.
On a gridded Ada, you might be able to get away with cross-countrying more, but with it like that, you're not going to be able to do it that much.
I hate this fabric so much.
We've decided
I've gone way too far to stop now.
We're quitting Witchelt fabrics. I do think the 32 count you gave me of Witchelt feels more like a normal linen than that. And doesn't have the holes or whatever, but I'm breaking up with Witchelt. I'm breaking up with 28 count Witchelt.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
Yeah. But those are all my whips. Let's see your whips.
Okay. So first, let me just get this out of the way. I didn't bring over my back to school sal that I'm doing 2 strands a day in which is the Turkish shop. And I didn't bring over my Told in a Garden Amish piece because when I started only being able to stitch like 200 stitches a day instead of 400, like I was averaging 450. In the last 2 weeks I've averaged 250. So the things that those were the first to go. So like I haven't made enough progress on it where it's worth getting them out. So I'll just bring them over next time and you'll see all of it. But so Allison finished last week. I had 12 things left. What I did this week was I finished, so this is, sorry, you guys have seen this a million times, but if you're new here, this is the Witch's Cabinet Stitch Along from Witch's Garden Crafts that one box came out every day in October, and I got behind. So each box doesn't actually take that long to do, but I don't want to sit down and just dedicate 1 or 2 days to finishing it. So then the last 2 weeks I finished the broom. I don't remember what this is.
I think that's basil.
I did the basil. I finished the geode. That was a beast.
Full circle.
Yeah. I did the teacup. And I did the wand. So I made some pretty good progress. I did 5. So I think I have 7 left. Yeah, I have 7 left. And I found this is a triple moon I didn't like. Not that I didn't like the triple moon, but the way she had it I felt looked a little bulky for the cabinet. So I'm going to rechart that. But what I've decided to do is I don't want to take up the seasonal stitching time that I have left for the rest of the year and do something that feels so Halloween, even though I really like it and I only have 1,000 stitches left, but I don't want to spend 2 days of the rest of the year on this. So I'm going to pull this out in January. I don't remember whose Flosstube it was, but somebody had the great idea of this feels out of season right now, but January it won't feel super out of season in January. It'll just feel like, and I already have a dark 13 piece that I want to do that's not this. So I'm just going to pull this out for the time I have dedicated to seasonal stitching in January and February, and it'll be a finish early next year. Because literally I have 1,000 stitches left. But that would take me 5 days at my current pace, 2 normal days, and I just don't want to. Yeah. I want to stitch Christmas and I want to stitch my other projects.
I want to stitch Christmas.
But I really like it, and it's 28 count lavender mist from Witch's Garden Crafts. I really like the Witch's Garden Crafts fabric. She doesn't dye linen, but if you're and the pieces I've bought from her are mostly like for her specific things. But if you're looking for like somebody with some fun even weave or Ada colors, her Etsy shop, I'll put it in the description. And this fabric and the Dark and Stormy, the gray, feel like a slightly tight 28 count, but the Ada is officially like a 15 or the equivalent of a 30 count. And so that one I did go down and needle on, but it's so colorful and pretty. It will be so much fun to have it out next year, but I just don't want to do it right now. And that one lives, I might move it because it lives in this beautiful Jasmine's Custom Bag, and I'm using my favorite hoop on it, so I might move it out. This is a 12 by, I think it's 12 by 6 or 12 by 5 princess hoop, but like if you're stitching something where you want a little bit of like room, like I can see the whole top half of the cabinet in it. Like I love this hoop. I looked for more of them, but the prices on vintage hoops have like gone up so much since the summer, and then it's like almost cost prohibitive to buy anymore. Like somebody wanted like $60 for that hoop, and I was like, I got the first one for $20. I'm not paying $60. Yeah. And I'm sure the women before us are like, I bought that hoop for $5. I'm not paying $20. You know, so like somebody will pay it, but I'm not paying it. But if you happen to have a 12 by 6 princess hoop that you want to sell for $20 plus shipping, hit me up. All right. More of my Nora November. So this is Moon Glow by Nora Corbett.
I like those colors a lot.
And I'm stitching it on 28 count with Stitch Me's Paranormal, which was the colored fabric of the month for September, but is now, I don't know if it will permanently be on her website, but now you can order this as a dyed order. And I think she even has some like ready to ships, but I don't know in what counts. I love it. So this is the pattern. And I started this, I was definitely influenced by Adam Hart Cross Stitch, which we figured out was the person that stitched it and put it in her local fair. And I couldn't remember, somebody who watched that episode that I talked about said, oh, it was her. So I was definitely influenced by her, but I didn't know who the pattern was. And then I saw it again and I saw it on Allie Z's page as the pattern. So I started it, and then Elizabeth from Savory Sewing and Allie from Allie Z's Crafty are gonna sell it with me. So we have the hashtag Moonglow Magic Sal, which I'll put right here.
Moonglow Magic Sal.
And
So cool.
basically what I decided to do was I was gonna stitch it the first week like normal, like in my original plans, but then I always intended to switch Nora's every week until the end of November. So then I just put it away, and then they are ready to go. So I will basically, like, as soon as they say they want to start, I'll pick it back up. I was originally going to wait till December, but if they want to do it like this week or whatever, I'm game. I love it. The only thing I don't like about it so far is I'm not good at counting. There's a lot of beads in this, like, and there's a lot of counting in here, but so I might instead count to this leaf, get the leaf and get the leaves and everything, and then put these in. Because you want to use them to count over, but also it's very difficult to count them. And I know I'm already off a little bit, and I might just make sure that this tree and this tree are exactly the same and go down and across, and then put these in where I'm counting. But if they look okay, it's not a huge concern if I'm off by a stitch or two, because they're not architectural to the piece. It's more just like you want a scattering of
What makes it so much
beads.
more difficult to count?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I just like, because it's not hard to see. Like, I'm not having a hard time seeing this, but like, I know there's already counting errors in those little, because sometimes you're counting like 10 or 20.
Yeah.
Like you're counting, but like not on Ada. Like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, I just know there's counting errors in there. So I think I'll just save them till the end so that I know. And then also, like, some of these are just beads. Like some of the ones, like those swirls, are just beads. So even though they look like they would be some of the most natural things to count to, I'm not going to beat it till the end. So
Well, you could beat it.
I could put a stitch there. I also could get out some counting pins and be more precise about it. But like, I was stitching this in the car after my eye appointment. Like, I don't have a lot of pristine.
I wouldn't call that a good car stitch.
Well, actually, other than the counting, it's a great car stitch.
Other than the counting,
because
counted cross stitch.
Other than counting the white out, like these leaves were great car stitching.
Okay.
Because think about how great the light is when you're sitting in the car.
Yeah, that's why.
And your children aren't there, and so it's like my car stitching and my car naps as a mother of young children are very precious to me. But I love it, and if you want to join in on the sal, just tag me or Elizabeth or Allie, and we'll share it all. You can comment here and just use the hashtag, but also tag us because Instagram broke all the hashtags. And then she lives in this beautiful Jasmine's custom bag, dragon bag.
Really pretty.
And it's an appropriate size bag for her.
How many colors is that?
She has a lot of colors, but not as many. Like,
oh, that's not as many as I thought.
Only about 10,000 stitches. What's crazy about her is how many water lilies she has. So she's a more expensive kit because she has like, oh, the pattern.
You could do it all in DMC though if you want.
You could, yeah. So the thing about the water lilies is it gets you a lot of the variegation in the leaves are blue to green, and then down here there's a lot of variegation in the pattern that comes from the water lilies. She has 6 DMC, 6 water lilies, and 6 milk beads. And she's the only Nora that I have fully kitted with the beads. But yeah, she's actually quite easy, like from a kitting perspective. She's just more expensive. But like if you're somebody who needs to like prepare your floss, like I will bobbinate my floss to a certain extent, and then I'll get sick of bobbinating and stick the rest in but I also put them in floss away bags on a ring so that my children, if they touch it, aren't destroying stuff. But like if you don't need to get picky, or if you work from a master set or something, she's pretty easy. All right, my Liz Matthews Mondays, which I absolutely love. This is Flowers and Friends. This was the October, I think it was October. It was September 15th to October 15th Patreon piece. I'm sure it will be released next year because it's just like the kind of piece that will get released, you know? So I'm almost finished with the house. So last week over the last 2 weeks, I added the roof. I finished this blue down here. Then I came up and I did the blue on the roof. Then I filled in the colors on the roof. Did this up, filled in the colors, and now I'm doing the windows. I really wanted to finish the whole house, but it would have taken a whole nother day. Cause like, it doesn't look, when you're this far into a house, you feel like you're done with the house practically,
Yeah.
but you are not even close to being done with the house. Each of these windows takes me like an hour.
Really?
Because it's just fill in.
Yeah.
And then then these are two different, there's two colors of flowers and then the greenery. And there might be there's two colors of green, but my color conversion that I'm doing, I just picked one variegated green instead of two different greens. But, so there's a lot left, but then I can start the vines and stuff. But hopefully by the next time we meet, I'll do this house. I think this house needs 2 more days.
Okay.
But I might get lucky and finish it in one day, but I wouldn't be surprised.
We have 2 Mondays.
I love it. I love stitching Liz Matthews, and I love stitching her on Mondays. It makes me so happy to get it out and to not like to get it out and do as much as I can do, and then to stop and like just very peaceful and content. I really like theme days. Really are good for the way that I think about stitching. And I did my own floss conversion to silks. And every time, I've gotten a few different silks since then. So every time I get any silks in, like Silk of the Month or whatever, I was going back and like tweaking. And but then I started actually having to put color in besides the blue this week. So now this is my final conversion because I've now used every color except the reds. Well, it's a red and a pink, but I picked up variegated pink and a red. But so this is a mixture of Stitchy Box silk, Mo's silk, and this is a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers variegated green. I want to say the yellow, the blue. The yellow and the blue are Stitchy Box. The purple and the reds and the grays. One of the grays is Stitchy Box, one of the grays, or they might both be. No, all the grays and the purples and the reds are Mo's silk on Facebook, and the green is Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. So I really like the color combo I ended up with. I'm glad I kept tweaking it, but then also at a certain point you just have to, like, it's time to stitch with the purple, and so that's now your purple, and you don't get to change it again unless you never want to finish.
Yeah. And
I'm using this Princess hoop. I'm stitching this on 28 count Vintage Magnolia by Lakeside Linen. And it's so pretty.
It's very pretty.
So here I'm on my Long Dog sampler. This is a small, so it's called a peccadillo. So you can see it fits on a much smaller, it fits on a fat eighth. So it has pretty decent 3-inch margins, maybe slightly smaller on the side. So you can kind of see, and I'm about halfway across. So it's a big, but it's not like the biggies. But the frog visited. So last time you guys saw this whole medallion done, and I got up to this, I finished this medallion, got up to this bird, and realized they were going to be different heights. And I was like, what did I do? Apparently, like, the first stitch down from the first bird messed up, and that meant the entire medallion had to be redone. So I spent one Sunday for Long Dog sampling. I only stitched this on Sundays, and I spent one of those Sundays frogging, and all I stitched was the bird. So I finished stitching the medallion, frogged everything, and just stitched the bird. So I was like, well, I'll just make sure that this bird did the same heights, and then I'll come down into the medallion, because then I'll know if I have an error, it might be something I don't need to fix as much, you know, like, and so I do feel like it does look like I made progress, but doesn't look like 2 days worth of progress.
I don't know, because I don't really remember what it looked like before.
But I'm stitching this
border.
It had the heart, one bird, and like half this medallion. So this is on 28 count antique white linen by Zweigart, and I'm using a variegated Mo's silk for it that is so pretty, and so that's all one hank of silk. I love it.
It's really pretty.
It's very fun to stitch with a variegated, but then you still do have to think about it. It's not quite like a monochromatic, because you still want to think like, oh, I just had a lot of brown in that area. I need to. So what I'll do is I'll have two lengths that have, I don't fussy cut, but I'll have 2 different cuts. So, and then also sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, I need to flip it. You know, I need to, so for the corner, I wanted the corner to match up and be yellow. So I selectively picked one that would start with yellow, but you can still see there's some pink. So it's not like a true fussy cut, but it's just more like being a tiny bit strategic without being super strategic. But it's so pretty. And then that lives in this bag that we got in Prairie. It's not really a project bag. That's just like a pretty
You
bag.
say that, but it is. It can be a project bag.
Well, it is a project bag because I'm
Yeah.
using it as a project bag, but like I can't go get one of these because they're not like
You could call the
can't-
place you got in Port Aransas.
well,
No.
I don't know, but like I can't get more of these and I can't tell people like where to go to get them. And I'm using this 6-inch. So this is smaller than the last one, but Princess Tube. All right. Oh, I have 2 more ones. Sorry, guys. The Pumpkin Carriage by OwlForest Embroidery.
I love that one.
I love it too. So this is a free pattern. So I'm using their variegated silks. Not variegated silk. I'm using their variegated DNC cotton over dyes. But the pattern is free, so you could just go get it and use they have a DMC conversion. I'm stitching the winter birds with their DMC conversion, not with their variegated. Because I wasn't going to place an order for, they have a $20 basically shipping fee when you order from Russia. And so it's not worth it to do for like one thing. So unless you want a bunch of things or you're going to go in with people, it's not worth buying a $6 thread pack with a $20 shipping fee. So that one I'm just doing in DMC. But I had originally, and I talked about all of this in one of our extras, bought the thread packs for a bunch of different patterns that I liked. So this would be great to do for a Princess Sal if you want to do something OwlForest and you don't want to pay for a pattern because it's free. It's very fun. I hate the fabric. It's on 28 count. It's Zweigart, not Zweigart, Witchell. It's, I want to say it's like buttercream or something. Did I write it down? I haven't filled out the project. I made project cards and they work really great when you actually write it down. Oh, I did. I did fill it out. So it's on White Chocolate by Witchell. And it's, I will say of the Witchells I felt that are 28, it's a better feel than others, but it's still like, I will finish this and I will never pick up a Witchell 28 count again. But last time I had just had the top of the carriage, I came down, no. Last time I was down here on the side. So I filled out the bottom and then I came up and filled in the middle and filled in these curtains. So hopefully next time, I only have 1,500 stitches left, but because I am going to split this time with some of those winter birds and I'm not in a hurry, like, because I enjoy it, I will just finish it when I finish it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to get this finished. Okay. I'm just going to do my 200 to 300 stitches in it every time and it'll be done when it's done.
It'll be done sometime.
It's so pretty though. And it lives in this Kathy's Posies bag. Oh, and I'm stitching it with a, so this is a Duchess hoop. The Duchess ones don't have the metal in it, but this one like has a little split here. So I use washi tape to fix it. And it was great because I bought washi tape like for like a deep discount at Basket Market, which is like a local outlet store here. Not knowing what I would need it for, but just knowing like this is something people have in their kits. And so when it was like time to use it, I was like, I have it. It was great. And then when we talk about Book of Days, I'll have it for Book of Days too. I'm sorry. Last whip. I'm working on Grand Teton National Park. I really wanted to finish this, but like this also went because it's like a lot of the blues are really easy, but the light blues and the whites were hard on my eyes. So, but I'm loving how the sky is turning out. I just added more sky. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And
I did fix my max stitch. So I have the second Grand Teton National Park pattern ready to go. I'm going to do this one. Then I'm going to do this French church. Then I'm going to come back and do another Grand Teton National Park. Cool. And it lives in this pretty southern camping themed bag that I love. But it's not quite big enough for this project because it's a tiny little picture, but it's got a lot of floss. Because it's the first few pictures that I did of my own that were small, I was trying to find things that looked really good with like 8 colors or 15 colors to keep but this one really needed like 35 colors and I don't want to I want it to really look good. Yeah. So it has a lot of floss.
A lot for a little bag, yeah.
For a little bag. All right, those are my whips. Plans. What are your plans for the next 2 weeks, Sissy?
My plans. I may or may not restart Garden of Skulls. So
You are going to
I'm
restart it
ready
at some point, but
at
you
some
might
point,
not
but-
restart it in the next 2 weeks.
or this year. I did write something down. What did I write down? Oh, before I restart Garden of Skulls, I want to do the bag. I want to do a pink skull on the bag that I keep it in. So I might do that because that would be easy. I want to stitch on the bag that I'm keeping my Prairie Schooler. I want to stitch PS 1986 on it.
Oh,
Isn't that cute?
and then you got to do all of them.
I don't got to do anything. I'm going to buy another storage basket for my cross stitch stuff because since we've been doing Flosstube, I've just kind of spread out everywhere. So
And before you did Flosstube, you only had.
I had one bag. I had one project at a time. I had 3 boxes.
And when the
of
project was
DMC.
over, that project got framed and given away.
Yeah, or not given away. I kept most of them.
Yeah,
I gave away a few, but I kept most of them. So yeah, I'm gonna buy a box or a laundry basket. Like Sarah said, buy a laundry basket. I'm gonna start some Christmas ornaments. Maybe the Yule, probably at least one will be from the Yule Stitch along. But then I'm gonna really focus on Christmas stuff and probably put the witch away and maybe even the pumpkin house until after Christmas so that I can stitch more Santa. Because I was really, really excited about Sooner Santa, and then I started feeling guilty that I wasn't working on the ones that I was supposed to be working on. So it would be nice to be like, okay, I'll pick it up in January and just do Sooner Santa and another Christmas stuff. So that's my plans. What are your plans?
Okay, so I'm going to keep doing Nora November. So I have 2 more Nora November starts. Sorry, Frankie, you gotta move.
He's sitting on all her stuff.
He loves me. I have 2 more Nora November starts that are all kitted up and ready to go. The next one is going to be Lady Mirabilia. We've talked about that a lot. I did buy all the floss for it. I haven't looked to see if the minty green or the purple looks better, but I do think actually what's looking purple on here is gray, is silver and gray. So I think it would look good on either, but I haven't decided. So I'm going to do a floss test, but I am going to start that on Wednesday. And then I have an order out 23 stitch for the last thing I need for the bell sampler, the Christmas bell sampler from Prairie Schooler that I love.
Are you going with the exact colors that they're
So I wasn't going to, but then I got a notification from 123 Stitch that the one that wasn't available was available. And so I just went ahead and ordered it and was like, I am going to just do. I feel like this is going to be an heirloom. They don't look like that in real life.
In real life, it looks different.
Well, I didn't bring it. I have half of them, and then I have like the Stitch Me conversions for the other ones I didn't have. But then I decided I'll just get the ones because it's charted in Gloriana silk on Lakeside Linen. I actually have the official Lakeside Linen charted fabric in stash, so why not take the opportunity to use the Gloriana silks and just I feel like this is like gonna be an heirloom piece.
Okay.
And if it's not an heirloom piece for my family, it'll be fun at least for me to feel like it is while I'm working on it. And then after I'm gone, I can't control them.
Right.
Ooh. Okay, I just deleted everything. So I would like to start this on Black Friday with my original plan, but I called 123 Stitch because there was an issue where my credit card had to be recharged, and then I called them to be like, just FYI, and they're like, well, it can't go out until our system has to completely re-update or something, so it's not going to go out until, because I figured if I called on Friday, maybe there's a chance it would still ship on Friday, and then with the holidays and stuff, maybe I'd get it by next Friday, but it's not. But I do have some of the glory on it, and I have the fabric, so I gotta look at the chart. It kind of depends on which goes where, if I could start it without those 2 or not.
Do you have the green?
Well, one of the ones I'm missing is the green. That they keep delaying when it's going to get here. So that's a whole other issue. There's 2 greens. I have one of them. They sent me the wrong one. Happened to be the other one I needed. Oh. But I ordered the original one that I thought I was getting. And every day it says it's one day further out. So who knows when that one will get here. But I have an MPI conversion for that. that I don't mind using if I have to. But it's one of the reds. So like if it's, I don't know which red is which. If it's this red in the corner, I can start if that's what the one I have. If the one that I have is this red, I don't know if I'll start. Because I don't really.
You don't want to do a center start?
The center start is the floss that they just told me was available. That it's very, anyway. So
Okay.
we'll see. So I don't know, but I would like to. Then I also want to start the 2023 Prairie Schooler Santa. So when I was saying, I thought you meant you had the 1986 like postcard Santa, the way they do these every year. But you have the 1986 A Prairie Year Santa. So there's also a Santa that's 1986,
Okay.
like this.
Okay.
This is 2003.
Okay.
I have him kitted up.
2003?
2023.
Oh,
I wish it was.
2023.
No, I don't wish it was 2003. This is 2023. So I do think, and I am going to join in on the Lala D Stitches Start a Santa.
I am too.
Sal hashtag.
I mean, I did. I started mine.
Yeah. So I'll be she's doing a hashtag on Start a Santa. I'll be tagging it with that when I start it. It's kitted. I just got to start it. I was like, until yesterday, I wasn't ready to start Christmas. And then yesterday, I was like, I'm starting Christmas right now. So now I'm like, okay, I'll start all these Christmas. Loving my theme days and just keep enjoying them and never feel guilty that like I'm not doing something seasonal if I'm doing a theme day because it's really fun for me. All right, so those are plans. All right, so now we're gonna do something we call Flosstube University, which is when this is different than like a shout out or a mention. These are people that we watched and we learned something from them that we want to pass along, like something that we learned from them and also like why you should check out their channel. But just to show that like not only are we like stitching while we're watching, but we're like really engaged and we really are like picking up what you're putting down. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. Okay. We already talked about stitch therapy and you've already heard my spiel about if you're feeling lonely or, you know, if you're feeling like you're not being accepted, DM me.
And I run the Instagram account for Cross Stitch the Globe because I'd already started it before we started I'd already started the channel. Well, I was going to start the channel and I already started the Instagram before you joined. So her Instagram is Allison at the moment. You can follow us both on Instagram. You can DM us both. You can just DM the one or the other. But if you want to DM Allison, it's Allison at the moment. And I'll put that in here.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm starting the Start a Santa Sal. It's Start a Santa Now Sal. So I started it this morning because that was now.
Oh, maybe I'll start mine tonight for seasonal stitching now,
yeah.
so that it's now.
Yeah, right now. I was watching these 20 stitches and I love them. They are amazing. And they do a lot of finishes too, which is hard. You don't see that many people on Flosstube doing.
You mean
finishes.
Like both, like where they're like making it a
like
pillow.
make a pillow. So no, but they do, and I really enjoy that. And I do learn something every single time I watch Dee because Dee is an activist. They're thoughtful about what they put out, and they research what they put out, and encourage you to take something that you're passionate about and run with it and get out of your comfort zone and do something about the world to make it how you want. And so I really, really, really love that. So go watch these 20 stitches. Their videos are great. And their birthday is on November 24th and they're doing a whip parade. So I think everybody needs to go and say happy birthday on their birthday. Aww. And we should celebrate together. And it'll just be fun. Show everybody some love.
Do you have anyone else?
Allie Z is Crafty commented on our last video because I was conflicted. What do you do with smalls that are just like, I spontaneously stitch this and I don't finish things. And so she mentioned a junk journal. I think one other person mentioned a junk journal too.
You want to make a great junk journal cover?
It is now covered in cat hair.
I know, because Franklin was all
Frankie
over it.
was all over this.
But wouldn't this be a beautiful junk journal cover?
Not a cover.
Or an entry in a junk journal?
But see, I don't know how to do the junk journal
You just gotta watch some videos about it.
I will. No. I'm mad at this piece. So it needs to go away for a while.
All right, I'm going to keep it.
I am thinking the junk journal more like finished pieces that I do love that I want to do something with.
Gotcha.
scraps that I'm mad at.
Gotcha.
But yeah. And then I've been preparing for our Mill Hill December extravaganza, and I've been watching a lot of videos on how to start, kit, do beading on a Mill Hill. So I've watched Crystal Rowe had a 2-parter on first kitting up a Mill Hill and then stitching it, and I found that very soothing and very reassuring. So, because I was getting anxiety about all those colors and all those beads, so that has been very helpful for me. The Northwood Stitcher, they also were doing a Mill Hill theme, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I wrote down.
She's the one that does all the vintage secondhand shopping and stuff.
Yes.
I like her channel a lot.
Yeah, I like watching.
She's one of those people I subscribed to in the beginning, but then I wasn't clicking on the videos like when they would come up, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm watching this, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I'm watching every one of you.
Yeah,
she's great.
No, she's worth a watch, absolutely.
All right, yesterday I watched the Daybreak Stitcher, Jerica. She lives in Utah. She went to Jacob Palooza in Canada. She had some of the most beautiful modern folk embroidery, like full finishes that she showed in her most recent Flosstube. That she didn't come out yesterday. It was just yesterday was the first time I heard of her. But I watched her whole video, and she talks about floss a lot in really different ways than other people. Like she talks a lot about like short flosses versus long floss and how long she cuts her flosses, and like she even like UFO'd or almost UFO'd a project because she cut the flosses all too short and she hated how short they were. But then also she does a lot of things with like really beautiful variegated flosses, and I am someone who sometimes I will see Mo will put up like a beautiful variegated floss, and I will go ahead and get a hank knowing it will be good for something, but I'm not necessarily sure like what yet. And so she's really good about like buying them and then actually using them and showing them. And I know I'm using like on my long dogs, like for sure. But so if you are a lover of really beautiful, colorful flosses, go check her out. Jan from Hoop It Up with Jan, she's been stitching for forever. Like if you are somebody who really likes the ladies who have been stitching for like decades, like she's pulling out dimensions kits she bought in like 1995. She had a little dimensions kit parade yesterday, or I don't know what day her video came out, but her most recent video she had a dimensions kit parade. And she also but she is doing a Queen of Freedom, which is like a very large, I think very out of print, very expensive, I believe, but I'm not 100%, Mirabilia. But she also does a lot of samplers, so she's doing kits and samplers and fancy ladies. So she's got a little bit of everything, but Frankie. But she's also somebody who's been stitching for 30 years. So she's really got something that for everyone. And I think this was just her 4th Flosstube, but she's really cool. And then Caroline from Caroline's Stitch Corner, she is doing something with the Peacock Stitcher, who we have been interacting with a lot, and it's been really supportive of us. And we just started her Flosstube. And Caroline had a really good tip. So she's Austrian, and those who can't get good pillow stuffing. And one issue that I had when I lived in Europe, I wasn't crafty, but I was doing a lot of film photography, is the things you can get are very different than the things you can get in America. So like if all of the videos you're watching are teaching you like what's available in America, well, it's like different stores, totally different price systems, shipping things there can be crazy. So she uses a lot of like things that are just very different. But one thing she does is if you can't get good pillow stuffing, she'll go buy cheap pillows from IKEA and take their stuffing out and put them in, which I thought was like, oh yeah, if I was still stitching in Bulgaria, if I was stitching but living in Bulgaria, that's probably what I would do. So all the crafty things that you can get there. So definitely check her out too. Caroline from Caroline's Stitch Corner. And I think she was just on her 4th video. I say just, like this is our 6th. I mean, they're also new like us. They're not.
Yeah.
We're all in the same Flosstube class of 2023.
Oh God, no.
So those are mine. All right.
Yes.
Haul.
I think my haul's gonna be the same as your haul. For one of them, at least.
Yeah. Let me get my Book of Days. For 2023 Book of Days. I'm excited about it because I do track my stitching in the Notions app, but I also want a pretty visual.
I'm probably not going to sticker it up like everybody else. I don't like stickers.
Oh, I might. But one of the things Colorado Cross Stitcher said is she stickers at the beginning of the month. Yeah. It's not like she's stickering, and that's why they look so beautifully placed, because that's the first thing she does.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like really interesting. I assumed you were stickering in response to like things as they were happening. So that was, I've never been a sticker person, but I've never owned more stickers than I do as the mother of a 3-year-old. So I bought, I didn't bring them over, but when I bought Yellow Submarine, I told you guys I bought the other ones in the series except for Eleanor Ruby. I will probably buy it, but I feel, maybe I'll find it on a Black Friday sale. So I bought this on eBay. It's the artwork from Beatrix Potter for the Tales of Peter Rabbit as cross-stitch patterns. I bet this artwork is not under copyright anymore because it is like original artwork from the 19th century. So you probably would be in the clear to chart it yourself, but I really like, but this, oh, well, and you know what, probably, these patterns are probably, I probably can't show you the patterns, but these are the pieces. But I just love it. I have it on my list for 2024 plans to start one in March. Okay. Do you remember having this book growing up? Like the book with the original artwork? Oh, so it means something to me, but not to you. Okay, I was like, you're not responding to it like it's nostalgic for you, but it's super nostalgic for me. I got another order of Most Silk. So she did a batch of reds. These are not all hers. These are some other reds too, but, well, she did a batch of reds and pinks. So I've talked about her a lot. I mentioned her before. It's a Facebook group where you have to be one of the first like 20 people to claim one because she sells 21 of these. And she'll post on Friday what's going to be for sale. But they're 17-yard hanks. So like the Glorianas on mine are like 5. I think they're 5-yard. Well, okay, skeins. But I think those are 5 or 6-yard skeins for like $8. These are $4 skeins with 17 yards. So if you like having a stash of silk at home, it's great. However, they're all like one-offs. Sometimes you can do a redye, like, so you can't plan around them. But like if you want to do like a long dog or something and you haven't decided what you want to do, join the group and just watch, and then one day just pounce when you find, like I was like that for my big long dog. I wanted to do blue, but I couldn't, so I just waited until she posted the perfect blue and bought. And the hanks are 120 yards for $20. So like way cheaper if you're going to use them. Obviously, if you're not going to use them, they're not cheaper. At the very first fabric of the month from Oak Crown Studios, which is Fiber Arts Amy. And I got this on, I think last Monday. So I think I've had it, for 5 or 6 days. But if you are in the club and you don't want it to be spoiled, especially because it's the very first one and not a lot of people are showing it, so you might not expect it to be shown, go away now. Well, no, because it's totally fine to show it. Oh. And like, it's good for other people to know, so if they want to join it. But I don't want to spoil the surprise for anyone. So if you don't want to know, I'm going to show it now. Okay? So this was the very first fabric of the month from Amy. And it's so pretty. It's called Firefly. And she said she used a technique that's kind of time consuming. So like perfect for like a very first early special one, because she's not going to be able to do this all the time. It's like, she like like where the stuff lays is not from like sitting in a pot, but like it's by hand. And it's like this beautiful like blue with like, it's okay. So I think it's pink and blue. What colors do you think it is?
Pink and blue and white.
I could see also people reading it as purple, just because the more I'm doing this Flosstube, the more I understand people see colors differently too. But it's so pretty. And her kind of, not like the only thing you could do, but one of the intentions that you could do is it would be perfect to have like a fancy lady in the middle. She says she got the inspiration from the woman who does lavender and lace, that like the instructions for something similar are in one of her patterns. But I think it's just so beautiful. And because it was the very first one, she sent a little present for the people that were in the club of like a little like thread waxer. Oh, that's nice. Which was really sweet. And a note like saying, you know, thank you for going on this. I don't remember her exact words, but basically thank you for signing up. And I just sent her a message. She doesn't know me from Adam, but I sent her a message that was like, congratulations, it's so pretty. Because it did feel special and pretty. And phone was full of storage. So fun. Not exactly sure where we cut off, but it doesn't matter. So I bought 2 middle kits inspired by things you and I did together. So when we went to the Silver Needle, They have a famous wall of Milk kits. This one, the little needlework shop, was so cute.
It is so cute.
And the model stitched up so cute. But they were out of the actual kit. So I saw it on What You Can Stitch and grabbed it. And then you and I talked about how I should do a national park Santa, and I was thinking Mill Hill more than the pattern, so I grabbed the and he was on sale. I wasn't like, let me go find one, but he was on sale, so I was like, oh, that seems like fate. So I grabbed the not Grand Canyon, oh my goodness, Yellowstone National Park Mill Hill kit Santa. I mean, I'm obviously not gonna do 5 Mill Hill kits this year, but I do think it's something that's not terrible to like have in your mind, like ready to go. Because it's Sukasa. I've talked before about Sukasa, which is a local needlework shop, but it's needlepoint. And I talked before about how I didn't think they really had anything for cross stitchers, but that I had gone like super early in my cross stitching journey, and now I know a little bit more and have kitted up different things. And so I went back with my son, which was hilarious. He was so cute. They actually have more stuff for cross stitchers than I would have expected. So I was asking her questions, and I was like, you know what, actually, like, I think we should just interview her about what can cross stitchers find at a needlepoint store, because there are enough of you guys out there in the world where your city might have a great needlepoint store and no store that's cross stitch specific. And while the needs are different, there are a lot of things that I could have bought that I would have, like, I can go and buy, like, they sell like the whole water lilies line. So like if I wanted to kit up a Mirabilia tomorrow and didn't want to wait for an order, I could go get the water lilies there.
It's my husband.
There was a lot of other things. And so we're going to interview her sometime probably in December. She said the store looks really pretty in December. And it'll be both about like specifically for people who live in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City Metro, like specifically obviously that store, but also people who live in a different part of town, or people who live in a different city that maybe are in a similar situation where there's a fabulous needlepoint store and no cross stitch store. And when I was there, I picked up the store branded one was so cute and was priced well. So that's the name of the store, Sukasa, but look, it's little needlepoint design. And then they also had these cute scissors, not like I need a pair of scissors, but these are going to be my like leaving the car all the time scissors. Why am I opening these off camera? So they look like these little eyeglasses. I've only seen them there, but I don't know if these are common other places. But they open up so into scissors, but they store, you don't have to worry about like your scissor sheath falling off. So I'm going to just stick these in my car.
They're really cute.
They're super cute.
Gave me one too.
And yeah, but these will get confiscated at the airport because even though they're the right size, they are a concealed blade. So don't take these on a trip.
Good to know.
Oh, the giveaway. So we haven't drawn the giveaway winner last night because we haven't drawn the giveaway winner from last time yet because we haven't figured out how to do it yet. Like I need to use the comment thing. So I will go ahead and draw them when I'm editing it and then post the winners here. So this person has won Evergreen.
Congratulations!
And then this person won the pattern for the Needleworker Prairie Schooler pattern.
And I wish I knew your name. We could say congratulations.
And to get your pattern, you're going to email this email address that I'm creating tomorrow. So email me and let me know where I need to send it to. Now, I'm not going to send them tracked or anything. I'm going to send them in regular mail. So if something gets lost in the mail or whatever, I'm sorry, they have no like cash value. I can't replace them. They're like, I only own one of them. Or if I own duplicates, the other one is in my stash. So yeah. I'm going to send them out. But like, just a disclaimer, I can't control the post office. All right, so the giveaway for this week, to enter, I'll tell you guys as I'm showing you, I have 2 patterns. For each pattern, you'll have a code word that you need to use in your comment. I don't care if you like leave a comment and then put the code word at the end. I don't care if you weave the code word into your comment. You can put both code words in one comment or put them in separate comments, whatever you want to do. To enter, you need to be at least 18 because you have to give us your address, and I don't want the address of anyone under 18. You need to be a subscriber, which I forgot to say last time, so I'm not going to check that for the first giveaway, but for this one we will check. And Don't use the word giveaway in your comment or anything like that because it will invoke trolls and I will delete your comment so it won't be entered in any way. And I'm just like preemptively looking.
She is over being in that room. She wants to come say hi.
All right, so the first one, if you want to join our Princess Sal, but you don't want to buy your own pattern, this one is really cute. It's by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Princess and the Pea. Use the word dog because I don't know if everyone who uses the word princess is going to want this particular pattern because they might just be asking a question about the Sal. So use the word dog. And then the second pattern is also by Little House Needleworks. Now, it's going to come with a caveat. I think the pattern is really beautiful, except for like one piece of it. So it's called Rose Hill Plantation. It's from 2009. It's just from a different era of language. And I would say that probably even back then, the word was triggering to a lot of people, but now it's even more like in the public consciousness that that's not a great word. There's nothing else about this pattern. Like the pattern is not of like a specific historic house or anything. So I'm sure that they just use that word to mean fancy house. And so if I were going to stitch it, I would probably change it to manor or estate or rechart that word in some way. But we're not the police. We're not going to come and put you in cross-stitch jail if you choose to change it or stitch it as is. But that's my caveat. If I stitched this, I would probably change it. But the house itself is pretty. And again, I don't think the people who created this pattern really had anything. It was not, it had, it's not like a historic, it's not like Monticello or something. So the pattern's really pretty. I would personally change the name. And if you want this one, use the word rose. So if you want either of these, comments. And other than that, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you guys, all of you. And if you have any questions or anything, let us know. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Like the posts. Like it really does. It helps other people find us. And then, all right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll have American. Yeah, okay. to our American brethren.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. Everyone else, happy autumn, happy fall, and we'll have a short extra come out next week. And we have a topic picked out, but just in case it falls through because it's a little bit out of our comfort zone, I won't announce what it is in case we need to scramble. But then we'll do another floss tube in 2 weeks. All right, so bye guys.